Happy Thursday, Stampers and Paper Crafters. This is Facebook Live number 430, and it's Thursday, September 4th, 2025. My name is Joy Borwedge, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live in Burnsville, Minnesota, and I have been a demonstrator since August of 1999. So far, I have a show and tell, something that I made through Stampin' Up! And I changed it drastically. Thought I was going to do a Facebook Live with it, but then I kind of had so much fun, I just kept going. And so we're just going to have to do the Facebook Live after. All right, so I'm going to put you down at the table in just a second. If you get motion sickness or anything like that, look away. And then after that little presentation, I will do a card, and I think that's it. All right, so hold on. So hopefully everybody had a great week so far. So again, as I said, it is Thursday. Yesterday was Wednesday, September 3rd. And, oh, loosen it up. There we go. All right. And so what happened yesterday was the holiday mini catalog came alive. So that is like totally and completely exciting. All right, so I think we're straight, and we're going to put some light on the subject. All right, there we go. All right, so I'm squishing just a tad bit, I think. A little bit more. There we go, I think. I think that's good, right? Here's my hands. Okay, so again, my name is Joy Borwedge. My Instagram page is Stampin' for Joy. My YouTube page is Joy A. Borwedge. My online store is stampinforjoy.stampinup.net. That is open 24/7. PenguinZ33@outlook.com is my email address. That if you wish to be put on my email list, I'm going to be having a stamp camp, I believe the end of September, beginning of October. So if you want to be put on my list, my email list, let me know and send me a message and I'll put you on there. I live in Burnsville, Minnesota, so you have to hopefully live on this side of the country. All right, my Facebook page is Stampin' for Joy. And, okay. I'm going to take a little drink of water here for just a second. All right. I love my lemonade. Okay, so let's get talking about some things. So, let's see here. Let's go through this stuff. So now this is our annual catalog. So, hi Tina, welcome. So this is our annual catalog. So if you do not have a demonstrator that you're working with, I would be grateful if you chose me. And this is the catalog that has all our family colors. It has the items for workshops. It has the color families. It has scrapbook workshops. And it has kits to put together. So then that way, if you are just starting to stamp and you don't have a lot of supplies, the kind of putting it together a little easier is in the beginning. Let's see here. Where is it? All right, so page 10. All right, so I'm going to show you page 10. So we have the kits collection. And so what this is, and the only reason why I'm showing you is because I have a kit. And so this is a kit collection. It is totally different than the paper pumpkin. So it's all inclusive, it's easy to follow along, and you can switch things up. And I certainly did. I went and bought the not anything that's in here, but it's something that just came out, and I'm like so excited to get it. And we'll talk about that in just a moment. But then the thing that came live is the holiday mini catalog. And this, oh my gosh, is so much fun. And so we can now show you the inside of this catalog. Now, one thing that I want to show you is there is a stamp that's called Love and Courage. And I'm just going to squish in just a little bit, and you might be able to see it. It happens to be it's for making a difference, and Stampin' Up! Will donate $3 out of every stamp this is sold to breast cancer awareness. Now, I suffered from cervical cancer in 2022, and I am still cancer-free. So I really love the fact that Stampin' Up! Is picking an organization to donate to. And breast cancer is, you know, they've reached milestones. I have several friends that went through it and are still with us today. So it just makes me happy that it's come a long way, but we have a long ways to go. So that is called Love and Courage. The number is 165935, and it's $25. And it has this beautiful half, thank you very much, Tina. It has half a sunflower, and then the other side says support, strength, heart, faith. Let's see if I could read that. Resolve, fight, hope, courage, survivor, and believe. And I mean, anybody who's going through that, just, you know, just be there for them. And that's what Stampin' Up! Actually was there for me. When I was going through chemo, I was doing my paper pumpkins, and I sat there for hours making paper pumpkins. And then the nurse that was standing with me that day got one of everything that I made. This is what I bought. And this is what I have to show you. This is something that is so cool. Okay, but we'll talk about that in just a second. We have just a few more things. Take a chance and look at the last updated in the beginning of last month. And quite a few things have up to 60% off. So take a chance and look at that. Now, here is the online exclusives. And we don't have a publication for this. Stampin' Up! Is doing this so that they are able to bring out new products without having to go through 2 years of designing another catalog. And so this is a way that Stampin' Up! Can give us new product every couple months, and then we get to have something fun to play with that's new, and also incorporate it with other things that we already own. So I'm going to actually just kind of take you through this, because somebody may not have a chance to get to the online exclusives. Now, when you go into Stampin' Up! And you pick me as the demonstrator to shop with me, you get to choose where you get to go shopping. You get to go through the online store and check the online exclusive product list. You could shop the kits that come out, and they are made exclusively for Stampin' Up! And they are made with the colors that coordinate with the things that we already own. So I love the fact that they have that. But online exclusives are, I'm just going to show like a stamp set, or I should say a suite. So it comes with product that coordinates together, but it's not in a catalog. So this one here is called Mixed Media Floral Sweet Collection, and it's been out for quite a while. And this here is the stuff that
came out September 3rd. And so today happens to be September 4th. So this is the suite that is called, let's see here, Gathering Together Suite Collection. And I just kind of want to make it so that you guys could see better. It comes with, when you purchase the suite, you save 10%. And it is the Gathering Moments Cling stamp set and the dies that coordinate it, so you would get the 10% off. I have the early espresso and the old olive linen thread. I love it. We'll be playing with that tonight. Then it comes with the Cajun Craze and gold dots. This here is called the Gathering Leaves Embossing folder. This is actually pretty cool. And then the Designer Series paper, which is called Gathering Together. So when you purchase this suite collection, it's 165987. I do not have it. I wish I did, because fall is like my favorite. But I had a few things to purchase because I have an event that's coming up November 1st. And so check out the website. It's www.thestampinevent.com, and you can now register. It is open. All right, so this one here is called Modern Christmas Suite Collection. So this is a specialty Designer Series paper that has gold in it, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So when you get the stamp set and the dies, you save the 10%. Especially when you also purchase it in the suite. Then it comes with the large gold hoops, the black and white and gold baker's twine. And then you get to make ornaments. Now, you could probably check that out, say on Pinterest, to see how to make the ornaments. Now, this one here is called the Elegant Pine Snowflakes Collection. I don't know if you could see this very well. But the snowflakes are made out of pine needles and pine boughs. It is actually really, really original and cool that Stampin' Up! Did it. It comes with the Designer Series paper, which is 6 sheets, 2 of each, and then it's Delicate Pines photopolymer and the Delicate Pines dies, along with the faceted snowflakes, and then the shaded spruce and gold edged ribbon. I've seen that this ribbon is very easy. It is 7/8 of an inch, so it's almost a full inch. So it's a beautiful ribbon to make and work with, say, like gift paper crafting gift ideas. Okay, so here are the bundles, and this one here is called the Beautiful Pumpkins Bundle. And so when you purchase that together, you save the 10%, or you could buy them separately. This one is called Homemade Treats, and then this one is called Snowflake Kisses Bundle. And I mean, look at that die right there. I mean, how fun is that? Let's see here if you could get a little bit. See. Okay. All right. So then this one here is called Pet Love Bundle right there. This one here, Festive Friends Bundle. And then the Pine Tree Trimming Bundle. So it comes with this die here that is able to cut out all of those. Plus, there's an element to make a shaker card out of here that there's like a pine. Well, we'll come across that in just a moment. Okay, so then another bundle is called the Sign Design Bundle. So this punches out all those greetings. And then, let's see here. Let's see, there is the Silent Snowfall Designer Series paper. It is a 12 by 12, and let's see, it's a specialty designer series paper. I believe it's so you can emboss resist on it. So it's kind of embossed, and then you take your blending brush and you color it over, and so the snowflakes kind of pop because of the color that you add. And let's see here. Okay, now here's the fun stuff. The all season velvet. It's a 12 by 12, and it's a velvet paper. And then we have the shaker domes, which are the tree form. So what I had said earlier is this, and then a gold shaker stars that you could put in there. Also in the annual catalog, there are several loose sequins that could be put in there. The etched autumn cling stamp, it's one stamp. And then the winter's scenes cling. So it's 4 line art images that you can color beautifully with the blends. The Sweet Halloween Scrapbooking Workshop Kit. The Sweet Halloween Photopolymer Stamp Set. And then the Sweet Halloween 12 by 12 Designer Series paper. Now, I'm assuming goes in here, but you can buy the Sweet. Then it has the lovely Florals Scrapbooking Workshop Kit, the lovely Florals Stamp Set, and then the lovely Florals Two-Tone Designer Series paper, along with the lovely Florals Designer Series paper and sticker sheets, and then the Spooky Sweet Specialty Designer Series paper and sticker sheet. So that is basically the only Halloween stuff that's in here. But like I said, Stampin' Up! Did put in August in the online exclusives the Halloween products. So then that way you could get a little bit of a head start on that. Okay, let's look at something fun. Okay, let me show you. This is a kit. So this is something that you get to see what's on the inside. You can go into the online store, in the drop-down menu, find kits, and then select the kits, okay? And then you get to see what's inside. And so this one here makes a garland. You're going to need a hot glue gun that goes with this. And for me, I kind of felt that it was pretty, but to me, it needed a little sprucing up. There is some foil in here, and you could see that I punched all these out, but I mean, look at how much space is left to do some die cutting and to do some punch art. I mean, there's a lot of space on here that could certainly, so I'm going to chop that up and put that in a spot. I mean, there might be a little bit here and a little bit here and a little bit there to do some small pieces. I don't want to save everything because I'm not into saving everything. But this makes a 5-foot garland. So from end to end. So it comes with this rope. And what I did was I folded it in half. First of all, I unhooked the edges, okay? And so that it was completely straight. And what I did, okay, so it has 2 ends, okay? So it was like this. So when this is chenille stem. So what I did was I wrapped it around each other like this. And then when this piece here was a little bit longer than this piece, I flipped it through the center here and pushed it through, you'll be able to see it better. On Facebook, on my Joy Borwedge page, you can see my picture of the wreath. And then below it in the comments, I actually have it shown. And so then what I did was I glued, or I actually went through, I actually have to undo this because this is Isabel's toy. She doesn't know it yet, but once she sees this, she goes nuts. Once I wrap it, coil it around my paintbrush, my tiny paintbrush, and make a spring out of it. But I certainly bend in the pokey parts of the ends. But anyways, I hot glued the same way that they showed here, but I did it in the wreath form. So what I did is I went through, and it gave you lots of sheets for items. Like this one, this particular sheet style had 4 sheets. So what I did is I took 2 sheets of one, 2 sheets another, and put it in half a stack. Okay, and then I did the same thing with this. There were 4 sheets of this one, so I took everything and plucked them and divided it in half. So I was going to do half the wreath and half the other wreath. Well, it turned out that I had a lot left over, so I'm going to try to do other stuff with it, but I have to figure out what I'm going to do. But let me show you what I did. So some of the pieces, they come attached. So it goes every so often. Plus it comes with separate foil pieces. So what you want to do on all your leaves is you want to fold it in half. Now you don't need a bone folder to do that. And so it gives it life. What I did with all my sheets is a lot of these came with 2 sheets. So 1 sheet over here, 1 sheet over here. And I took color and I went around the edges. So I went on my blending brush, and then after that I folded them in half. And for the most part, I whacked off the ends of the leaves because all that did was get squished and it didn't really go anywhere. So I just glued here and I put a little bit of glue there. It comes with I don't know, you know how like when they make bags and they use flower pieces, that's what this is. This is like paper that's made. I don't know what the term is, but it's gray, and they also have white. And so again, I would fold it and then rip off the stem, because really there's no sense in having that stem. It comes in a cream color. It's not really white. Then all the blue ones I flicked with Winkostella. Then the cream ones, these were kind of like a light brown. I went and did pecan pie. And then these were old olive. That's what I did on the outside edges. Cajun craze, I did that. Now this one wasn't really good because I had to get a new Winkostella and it was kind of getting to the end. So this here is the, I don't know what color that is. So I did the Winkostella on the leaves and again, fold it in half, and so it gives texture. And this one was Las Lagoon on the outside edge. Then the cream pages, I did Cajun Craze blender pen, and I just kind of flicked with the splatter. And it came with multiple ones that were attached. So all those got the Wink of Stella on their veins. And then the big ones, I did the same thing. So there's oak leaves. So like all the blue ones have splatter on them. And I mean, you could see how many leaves that one didn't turn out very good. But you still use it and you still hide it. And then there are little ones, and then they're maple and oak. And so, I mean, all the same page got the same treatment. And then, I mean, this is just a tad bit less than half because I went and got a couple more of these. And so I think I might be doing maybe some type of swag, or I might on a string kind of hang these, and I don't know. I'm still thinking. This is what I have left, and so I'm going to put that in there so I don't get my fingerprints all over it and so I don't forget it. But let me show you what it turned out to look like. All right, so this is the back. And let's see here. So I don't think you could see through all the gluingness. Now the back side's not the pretty side, obviously, but like I said, I twisted the two edges. I split it in half and then wrapped it around each other to give it a firm circle. And then once that circle, the end piece, it hooked in like this, because when I split it in half, it left a circle. And then when the one of these was a little bit longer than the other, so that took part of the circle and completed it, and then I glued it together. So this is what it looks like done. And so that is the top. And I just took acorns and I did 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here. And then I sporadically put them in. So that, if I wanted to, I could put like a candle in here. But the reason why I didn't want to do a swag, I was going to put the swag on my dining room table. But I thought that because my cats like to sit on the table, they might find something to chew on, like the acorns. And so I'm like, I'm going to have to figure out a way to do the swag, but do it so that I can't, allow my cats to chew. So, I think it turned out very nice. And the swag that I was thinking about was going like to Michael's and buying a twig swag and then kind of hot glue in. Now I could have done that with this wreath and just, bought a circular wreath and like a twig wreath and then put these in it. But I kind of wanted to make it as Stampin' Up! Intended, but not really. Do you know what I mean? Kind of make it so then by adding the color that I did to the outside edges, I think I brought it a little bit life. So it's not, so to me it kind of was a little mundane. It needed color. And so when you look at it, you see that there's outside edges. I didn't want to go really weird because if I didn't like something, I wanted to have enough. So that is my show and tell. And there is, you know, those foil pieces in there. And I really like the fact that some of the, let's see, Winkostella, you know, it just brings out the little bit of sparkle. So when you come to my house, this will be hanging up on my door as you leave. And I didn't want to put it on the front of my door because, I mean, if somebody would steal it or brush against it. So I kind of made it so that it wasn't too bulbous, so that if you would walk by it or like you're putting your coat on, I didn't want it to get caught on something, but yet it's not flat. But it is flat, if you understand what I'm saying. All right, so enough about the wreath. What do you think? All right. Like I said, those colors, I mean, are just fun. All right, I'm going to take another drink of lemonade. Okay. Now, as you know, I have been doing, if you've been following me for a while, I have been going back to my Facebook Lives and recreating things. Now, this is Facebook Live number 17, and I took some new product and remade the same, kind of the same layout, changed it up a little bit, and used product out of the holiday mini catalog. And I can show you that now. So that is really cool. Now, where did I go with that? Because it's hiding. There we go. So I used different things on this card. Now, this is $4.29. It happens to be, I'm going to be using some of the same stuff tonight. Let's see. We're using the Autumn Toile Designer Series paper. We're going to be using some of that. That is the Designer Series paper. That's here. And I stamped on it. Okay. Then this here is called Earthen Tone Metallic. And I heard people say it's like a brass or a copper. No, it's not. It's like chocolate. And it is not brass and it's not copper. It's more brown. So, and I love it. Okay, so we're using some of that. And then this stamp set is called Branching Out. And that is right here. And it has some awesome dies. So today we're going to be playing with that one right there because I kind of left that. We did the pine cones, and then we did that die, and then we did that die. And then I showed you how to take the smallest die and make the squares without the corners. And then we used the A Very Special Someone. And then on the inside, it says, wishing you a day filled with many happy moments, happiest birthday wishes. And then we stamped the inside with the long twig. And then I used the single one. And then I stamped it in full color and then stamped off. And then I did the pine cones. So that was last Sunday's card. So now we're going to use some similar things. So again, like I said, we're going to use the Autumn Toile Designer Series paper. We're going to use that one right there. And I don't think you could see if that is, it's not brass, it's chocolate. I know it's really hard to see foil on camera, but it's stunning. We're going to use the Sunflower 3D embossing folder. If you know me, you know that sunflowers are like my favorite thing. So this is Facebook Live number 19. And this was actually one of the in-person cards that you got to make several years ago. Let's see. I don't remember which one it was, but I love the sunflower. And it was something simple. So I took this idea and I went that way with it. And then I'm not going to show you what it looks like, but I'm just showing you the stuff that we're going to use. This was my inspiration and we're changing it up. Then I told you that we're using the branching out dies. We're using that long piece that's sitting right there, or was. This piece right here. And then we are using the same stamp set. It's Hello. And then, let's see, thinking of you brings joy to my heart. I mean, how wonderful to say that to somebody, right? Okay, so we're going to be using that. So, somewhere like this. Let me show you what we're going to be using. And again, we're going to be using the Early Espresso and Old Olive linen thread. And I happen to choose the Old Olive. So that is the reason why I chose these colors. So I'm like super excited about all the new stuff. And I can't wait to play with things. Okay, so this is the 5 by 1/2 inch. This is something that I chopped off and I didn't want to throw it away, and it works perfectly for that die. And that is out of the Earthen Tone Metallic foil. This is a piece of basic beige. It's just a scrap. It's 2 by 1 1/4 inch. A piece of that designer series paper, and it is 4 by that 1/2 inch. And then we have a piece of that two-tone Early Espresso. Now this is the Early Espresso, and I am actually using the lighter side. This is the Early Espresso. I want the lighter side. That side, okay? So when you, this is painted on. So unlike Cardstock, this is green, Old Olive, all the way through. This went through a printer and they took color and applied one color to one side and a lighter shade of the other side. So like this is the Early Espresso, and then this is the lighter tone, just a tone down for Early Espresso as well. So you can do different things with two-tone cardstock. Now, the difference between this and this is that the actual cardstock is thicker. So they made it so that when you use the two-tone in scrapbooking, it's not going to be as heavy. So you could still have the same color, but it won't make your pages super heavy. So I love the fact that also it's going to make your card making less heavy. Okay, so two-tone, 5 3 3/4. And then this is actually a piece that I chopped off, but I decided to use it. So that's, I don't think you could probably see the two-tone. So that's the dark color, that's the light color. I don't know if you could see that shading there on camera. Let's see here. Piece of old olive. This is a quarter sheet, so it is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then this is our card. This is basic beige, and it is 5 1/4 by 8 inches, and I scored it at 4. Okay, so then we're going to flip this over so that we use the right side. And so I'm just going to let this sit here for just a second. And then that way, once you, I don't know if you want to, if you have the sunflower folder or not, this might make you want to get it. If it, you know, if you don't already have it. Like I said, it was the first thing that when I could get it, I got it, because sunflowers literally make me just have this goofy smile on my face when I see them. All right, I'm going to take another drink of my raspberry lemonade. Now, this is an actual card that you can recreate. And I'm going to show you the difference, hopefully. If I don't show you, remind me. Because this card, where did I put it? This card is actually portrait, and I made this landscape. But my original card that I made, I also made it portrait. So I'm going to show you what the difference is and how you could take something that you already made or you like the idea of and then change it just by changing the direction that it is facing. So, okay, so let's go on and take these little things off. And this is actually an easy card, and okay, it wants to stay. Okay, we're going to grab the Stampin' Cut Emboss machine first, because we need to emboss this in order to do what we need to do to it, and then we also need to die cut this out. So that's actually pretty easy. All right, so we're going to put all these pieces up there. And we'll go grab that machine. If I didn't have to use the folder on this, I could have used the small one. But I'm going to grab the big one. And I'm going to grab my plate number 4 because we have to do the embossing. So the first thing we're going to do is might as well cut because it's already set up. For a lot of times, I just leave it sit like this in my stamp room. This is my table, and when I stamp, I sit for the most part. When I do my Facebook Lives, I stand, and this faces the window. So there's a window over there, and then over kind of behind me to the side, there's a wall, and on that wall is an alpha container store setup that I have kind of at my hips high. I have my Stampin' Cut Emboss machine sitting there, so I can do it without having to work my shoulder when I'm doing a lot of die cutting for classes and events. Okay, so we're going to take that and grab the I don't know what this is. This is berries. This is a stick with berries on it. It's a branch. I do not know. So we're just going to take the cutting plate and put that on top and wind that through. Sorry for the shaking of the camera. This is where my table is and where my camera holder is. It's my phone. That's how I record. And then if I had, like, I have one person under me and I have several people that like to order from me, but I don't have like a huge group of people that, you know, I meet with every month, and I don't have thousands of people placing orders with me. I maybe have like 5. So I can't afford, and like on my Facebook presence or my YouTube presence, I think I have like 55 people that follow me. So I can't afford to like buy a web camera type thing and then, you know, just click a button and your camera automatically flips down to the bottom. Besides, I am not tech savvy. Whatever I learned about my phone, mostly people teach me how to do that. Or it takes me a really long time to figure things out. All right, so now several times I have done a Facebook Live and I have shown this sunflower card, and I am going to move that down. Okay, I think I like that. All right, so move my berry stick, and now we're going to put number 4 on top. You can put several pieces in here. You could put I think it's 8 by 6. You could do a really nice scrapbook page with this folder, with this size of folder. So it's really versatile. And you can choose kind of what grouping you want your flowers to show. But what I was saying before is everything that I've done so far, I've done with the back side. But today we're going to play with the front side. So this is embossed. That means that the bumpy parts are facing up. This is the debossed side. That means the image is kind of sunken down. Okay, so how you can tell which is embossed and which is debossed is the embossed side is with the Stampin' Up! Logo facing up. When it's facing upside down, that is the debossed side. So one of the techniques that you get to play with on the 2-sided paper is I showed this when I got my new product. I think it was on Sunday. Did I show this on Sunday? I think I did. And I was getting this all ready. So this is 2 tones. So again, this is Cherry Cobbler. So this is all the original colors are on the left side, and then the lighter colors are on the other side, the B side. And so I did kind of some techniques over here, and then I left this one alone. So this one's called Keeping Traditions. It's a 2-tone, 12 by 12, and it coordinates with the Traditions of Christmas, I think it's called. I'm going to have to learn my names, but you get to do different techniques with it. So this one, I used sandpaper. This one I ripped, and this one I crumpled. So then you could kind of see. And then if you take the sandpaper to that, you can have those ridges shine through. And then also, this is White Willow. This is the White Daisy or something. This is close to my heart's white paper. So when we Stampin' Up! Bought them, they also bought that white paper and changed its name to White Willow. So then that way, you know, all our papers are like, except for basic white, basic black, and basic beige. But everything is, I don't know, balmy blue, Coastal Cabana. So anyways, Stampin' Up! Sells all our families of color in the two-tone cardstock. And so what I'm going to do, and I don't like this, I'm going to have to go to Home Depot, which is like next door. Okay, I know it just left. Now I'm back. It is raining here, so I don't know if that's messing around with the connection. But anyways, this is a nail file that I got at Walgreens, and I need to go to Home Depot because Home Depot has sandpaper. So all we're going to do is just take, and if I was smart about this, when I was designing this card, I decided to make it smaller and I cut this piece off. Well, then I decided I'm going to, use sandpaper on it. Well, it would have been a lot easier if I would have left it on. But I didn't think about that until I, cut it off. Because as I design a card, I cut, as I'm designing it, I'll cut what I'm going to use in the card that I use for the Facebook Live. And then a lot of times if I'm designing ahead of time, which is not a lot of times, but if it's like for an event, then I do design ahead of time, and then I write it down, the dimensions, what I did everything at. So all the cardstock and the DSP and the size, I write the size of the dimensions on a Post-it note, and then I stick it on the back side. I think that's good. Okay. And we'll just take all that little fuzz, and we'll just take this and we'll slightly just go one way. We don't want to, like this one, we could do circular motion. We can't do circular motion on this piece right here, because otherwise we'll rip it. And this is going to go on the inside of the card. All right. So how many people have this embossing folder? I'm just going to wipe that on my shorts and see if that comes off. All right, so I'm just going to put that away. And like I said, we're going to do the landscape. Okay, and so this is going to go on the front of our card. If it rips, it's okay. I could certainly tear this and have that as part of the texture, but I want as many sunflowers on here as possible. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is, now I showed you on this card how I stamped on the backside. So basically right on the Designer Series paper. Well, this one, we're actually going to take Old Olive and get rid of that. And a small blending brush. You can use a large blending brush if you want. I just am going to grab, I'm going to do it this way. What I'm doing is I'm holding my Stampin' Pearson mat, because this is protected with copy paper. And then I'm going to grab ink by pushing towards me, and then I'm going to start off, and I'm going to color my Designer Series paper. So it's going to have a little bit of Old Olive. Old Olive is not in the Designer Series paper. It is Mossy Meadow, if it shows up, on one side. And I'm like, how am I going to incorporate Old Olive? Okay, that looks like it's supposed to be like that, right? I mean, you couldn't tell that I colored it unless I told you I did. And whoever thought to just take some ink and color one of these. I'm going to maybe, snip off, but we'll see. Because like I said, I designed this card to go this way, but we're going to do it landscape instead of portrait and do something a little different. And okay, so we're going to put that off to the side. We're going to grab this, and I love this hello. It's nice and big, and it has a cool font. All right. I'm just going to test that out and make sure it's okay. I've only used the stamp set twice, and both of them to make last week's card and today's card. I haven't had a chance to really play, but I mean, isn't that cute? I love it. All right, so we're going to clean that off in just a moment. Seeing as how, yep, I'm going to do the inside of the card. I was thinking we're going to chop that off in just a second, but we might still have some green on here, some old olive, and we do. So instead of wasting that ink, put it on the inside of your card and just get a little bit of color. Okay. And then we're going to stamp the inside, and we're going to use really Espresso. And so the front part's going to say hello, and then thinking of you brings joy to my heart. I mean, whoever's going to win this card, hopefully you have somebody that brings joy to your heart, and you can send them this card. All right. Make sure it's straight. Oh, I love that. Okay. Now we're done stamping. I told you this is an easy card, and it just takes 2 colors and some designer series paper and some two-sided two-tone paper. Now, because this is so small, I'm going to flip it over and use my adhesive with my silicone mat. My silicone mat will allow only the adhesive to stick to, as I lift up, only to the two-tone cardstock. And that is going to go right down here. And so, like I said, I like to bring a little bit of something from the outside to the inside. Now, you can go as elaborate on the card, on the inside of your card, or you can just be very simple. I mean, a little bit of color and a little bit of the two-tone cardstock with the technique, and then, oh, there's still a little bit of glue there. There we go. I just don't want, I want the card to be able to open. All right, so we're going to take this and attach that to our base. So again, make sure I'm going to be straight, okay? And I don't need this anymore because we're done stamping. And we're going to take this and we're going to cut it off right there. So it looks like it's supposed to be like that. And then, so we got 2 of those instead of 1. See, now those look, there, you could probably see, maybe you could see the color. They look like chocolate. Okay, now we're going to take the, let's clean these off, because it's photopolymer. Some inks tend to discolor your photopolymer. See, you could still see through it, but the longer you leave the ink on, the more stained it can get. So I kind of like to clean them off right away. All right. Then let's get the mini trimmer out. This is a trimmer that Stampin' Up! Used to have for a celebration reward when you signed up to be a demonstrator. And then it went to sale to the actual demonstrators that were around. And so you got a chance to purchase it. And I keep it on my desktop at all times. So I have what I call my Stampin' Cut emboss machine station. I have my cutting station over there. Judy, hi, welcome. And then basically my stamp room is my bedroom. But how I like to say it is I like to sleep in my stamp room. So, all right. And then we're just kind of cutting it close. How you doing, Judy? Welcome. We're using new product tonight. Did you get your holiday mini catalog? I hope you did. We're just kind of cutting it close. All right. It's not necessarily good. And you got your cards. Yay, good. Thank you for watching. Yes, a friend of mine came over for a stamp camp and she gave me some stamps. And then I was able to also purchase some. So I was like, yay, I have more. You know, as I had said earlier, my husband was has been in the hospital a lot. And so I was trying not to spend any money on anything other than things we had to have. So mailing cards was not a have to have. I wanted to, but I didn't want to spend the money. I would rather have had to buy milk and bread than stamps. You get it, and I'm glad you guys understood. All right, so I just used the People Poker to poke a hole. I have tried probably close to 1,000 times where you snip up and then you snip the sides. Well, when I do that, one side is always bigger than the other. And for somebody like me, who's a little anal and a little OCD, that does not work very well. And so I had to figure out a way to make it so that it was pretty much even. So I used my glass mat and I line it up with the lines, and then I stab a hole where the line goes up. And I am pretty close, so it doesn't bug me as much. So I just, okay, so we're going to take those, because we're going to attach. Now, because this was embossed, this has ridges, and the paper has been manipulated, okay? So I want to put as much adhesive as close to the edge as possible. Hi, Dawn. Welcome. And that way, now I got a little, so it's not as bumpy on the sides, okay? So I want to figure out which way do I want to have my card. And I could put it like this. And then I'm going to put it like this. And the reason why is because I'm going to put my greeting over here, and I don't want it to cover up a lot of my sunflower. Okay, so I am looking at my corners, and I think I am okay. And we're going to smush down and get it pretty well centered. Okay, and make sure, again, that it opens the proper way. All right, so then now we're going to decide how far and how did I do this. So when I get my twine, this is linen thread. So let me show you this one. All right, so, my linen thread started already where I hate that when it comes off the edge, okay? So I just try to find where it starts. And is that it? That's it. Okay. So what I do is I find my piece, okay? And then I take my scissors and I'll stamp north, south, east, and west. And put little notches in the cardboard because that helps me find my end rather than going like this and then whacking it off. I had that happen, and nothing makes me more crabby than having half my spool come off, and then I have to sit there and figure out how to add it back on. Yeah, grr. So we need this. And so what I did with this one is, now if it's, springy like that, it's crooked, take your fingernails. I'm starting to try to grow mine and just go like this. And it makes it all nice and straight so you can make a bow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab 3 fingers worth and go 1, twice, and 3 times. So at the third one, I'm going to snip it off, and I'm going to leave that at the top, okay? And then I'm going to grab the opposite side and push together. So it's not a bow, okay? And I am going to lay down some adhesive, and we're going to go like that. Now, if you want, you could put a piece of tear and tape over it. I had to go get some. And then just rip off a little piece. And then that'll keep all your parts stuck. Okay, so it won't come undone. Okay, there we go. Get a little wild there. It's not a bow. It's just, you'll see mine on the original card. All right, so before this gets dislodged anymore, we're going to wrap it around and find the next hole that it goes into and just push down in. And so now it won't come undone. And I know where my end is, so the next time I need this, I will not have to sit there and curse, because that can happen. All right. All right. Now you can just leave that on there. You don't need to take it off if you don't want to. And we're going to put this here, and we're going to put this here. So I think I kind of like that. I don't want it to go all the way, okay, because I don't want to cover up a lot of my sunflowers. So I want to have it a little bit there, and a little bit at the edge. So we're going to grab, okay, the Stamp and Seal, and we're going to put that roughly like that. Flatten that down as much as we can, and then we'll open that up and snip that. And what is that? Color, take that off with the eraser. Okay, then now we're going to grab that can go in the trash. I am not saving that. I save stuff. I don't save that much. All right. So I'm going to grab the dimensionals. We can put the silicone mat back. We don't need that anymore. Grab the people poker. And let's see here. Oh my gosh, you guys. I am so sorry. Oh, and it's wrong way now. Okay. So luckily we're almost done with the card because let's see, how can I think because my phone went undone, it's not going to do the orientation properly. So I'm just going to leave it. Sorry, guys, but we're going to finish the card sideways. Where am I? Right there? No. Okay, so if I go over here, there we go. So if I flip this around, you guys see it, right? You see it going landscape. You guys, I am so sorry I did that. Luckily, we're almost done. Okay, so we're going to take a little bit of adhesive. And dang nabbit, I should have kept my mat. That really bugs me that I did that. I have never smacked my camera, my phone, and what do you call it? The holder hit the on and off button. So not fun. Okay, so we're going to put that, I think we're going to put that like that. And then we're going to put that right in here. Yep. All right, so we got that. And so now we can take the dimensionals and stab and grab them. Okay, so I'm going to put that right there. You guys, is this to you how you see it? Am I going upside down or am I going sideways? How do you see this visually? Because through my camera, it looks like it's landscape. But for me, actually doing it on my table, I am doing it portrait. So I just thought I'd ask. Okay, we're going to take these rhinestone basic jewels, and I'm going to use these before I open up a new pack. I did an event, and I had a lot of these left, so I like to use my nib tip because it does not hurt the brush. And so what I do is I start kind of like when you make a cupcake, and I go and then I twirl up. You know, I swirl it on the outside and then I end at the top, because it's flat on top. And because this is a rhinestone and it is a faceted gem. And so, like I said, I'm going to do this sideways, but you go and then you twist to the top and then you hit that, if you see that. But anyways, I'm going to take that and put one down here. One, let's see, right on the outside edge on the Designer Series paper, and then one right up there. Whoops, get back there. So 1, 2, and 3. And so I created a triangle. All right, there's a cat hair. All right. So that is I wish I can, you know, this is Facebook Live. This is not, I didn't like some of it and I edited it and I came back. So so I don't know how you guys see this on the camera. So on my camera, it looks like the hello is, my camera, what I see through is showing it opposite. So this is what it looks like on the camera to me, but it's opposite. I'm going up and it's going to that way. And so I'm having a hard time. So how do I make it so that, okay, I think that's it. If you like the card, not necessarily if you like the video, you get a chance to win it. Do a thumbs up or a heart. That gets your name entered into the drawing. And again, for the displacement of the camera and the photo, luckily it's just at the end, leave a comment. That will get your name entered into the drawing. And then if you share this on your timeline, number one, you're helping me out. And I appreciate it so much if you do share this. And then that way it gets my name out there. People might like this video up until me smacking it and it turning off and then having to come right back on and it's facing a different way. But anyways, hopefully you like it and you enjoyed it and you get a chance to win this card, and you get 2 entries if you share this. So thank you very much. I hope you, Judy, go back and rewatch the replay. At the beginning, I showed, oh, Hummingbird is still out there, goofy boy. But anyways, I showed the wreath. I showed the garland. It's really cool. It's supposed to be like a 5-foot garland, but I made it into a wreath and I showed everybody how to do that. So, yeah, go back and rewatch that just in case, just because the camera is all screwy. All right, guys, thank you very much for hanging out with me on a Thursday evening, even after our technical difficulties and then me smacking the camera. So I hopefully will see you back on Sunday. Take care. Have a great weekend and happy stamping.